All right, every city in this country, it seems, has a homeless problem, some more than others, but not everyone comes up with a unique strategy to deal with it, especially in Alaska, where they can have some pretty cold winters. So an unfunded proposal by that city's mayor to pay for plane tickets for those homeless people to warmer locales. It's a one-way ticket. The mayor joins us right now, Dave Bronson. Mayor, good to have you.
Neil, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Mayor, immediately people seized on this, some of the local press, that this is your way of dealing with the homeless problem and just shoving it on somebody else. What do you say?
Well, Neil, quite frankly, it's a bit of a desperation act. Desperate times call for desperate measures. I have a moral imperative here to protect people's lives, to save people's lives, and if that means giving them a $300 or $400 airline ticket to a warmer climate when winter comes, I'm going to do that. My job is to keep them alive. If they want to go, we're not compelling anyone to go. But if they want to go, we'll provide that means. And I simply have to do that. I hate doing it. But we don't have a large shelter here. We have very, very limited shelter space. So this is what we're going to have to do. And I've decided to do that.
Yeah, and to be fair here, you had a lot of people die last year in the cold winter, and among them some of the homeless. So it's been looked at, and I guess
Right.
now some people are suing over this. But no change in your plans to continue this, right?
No change. We're up to 29 this year. People that have died of exposure on the streets here in Anchorage. So I'm going to do what I have to do to save lives. It's that simple.
You are a controversial fellow since coming into office. I mean, a lot of people remember you were comparing mask mandates to the Holocaust, and some people said that was going a bridge too far. Do you regret that?
Well, actually, I didn't say that, Neil, but I was a pretty libertarian in my approach. You want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you want to take a vaccine, take a vaccine. I even provided vaccines through my health department, but I did not compare it to the Holocaust. Others did up here. I did not.
All right. So when that distinction was made, that it was almost a sign that they were in lockstep with whatever the politically correct way of being was to wear masks, you were not trying to compare them to Jews at that time?
No. Okay. Some did. Unfortunately, it was a mistake, but I didn't.
All right. The other thing that came up that may be over into your controversial leadership style was when you were looking, I believe, in the fall of 2021 about stopping fluoride treatments in water. Some said that was dangerous. Where does that battle stand? Because it ignited a whole bunch of suits and controversies and protests.
Well, when I first came into office, I did a tour of our water treatment plant, and employees there during a tour asked me to stop that. Unfortunately, I wasn't aware that the municipality had earlier passed an ordinance that prescribed a certain minimum amount of fluoride in the water. And I asked quite clearly of the director who was asking me, and I said, is this legal? And he said, it abides by state law and the charter, but however, it did not abide by the municipal code. So it was off for about 2.5 hours, and you don't turn it on and turn it off. It's a manual process of mixing it. So our fluoride levels never even changed. And the week later, it was down for 4 days for maintenance. So be it.
Mayor, I mean, a lot of people have even actually compared you to the blunt, in-your-face style of a Donald Trump, which raises this question: are you supporting him for the Republican presidential nomination?
I think as a mayor, I'm not taking a position on a presidential race. I will support whoever the party comes up with. Okay. At the end, I've met Donald Trump. I think his policies as a president were some of the best policies of any president that I can remember, to include Ronald Reagan. But comparing me to him, I govern a bit different. I don't tweet. I'm more collaborative. I think we have to work more with the folks that are on the opposite side of the spectrum. But at the end of the day, I can't imagine a president with better policies than Donald Trump's policies, from international to to domestic, to the border. So in all of his policies, quite frankly, I do support him, and I did support him.
Okay, real quickly, and I'm sorry for going over here, Mayor, there is an edict tonight at this big Iowa dinner that they're planning that whoever emerges the nominee should be supported by everybody else. Some candidates are, fraying at that. What do you think of that?
Well, I believe in the party system that we have right now. I think it's essential that we support the candidate that aligns best with our and the party that aligns best with our own personal ideals. The Republican Party platform, both the state here and the national platform, I agree with. I support that, and I think all Republicans, all right-minded people, quite frankly, should support the Republican Party and the Republican platform. And whoever that candidate is, I think the party will make the right decision in the end before we get to the general election.
Got it. Mayor Bronson, very good talking to you. Be well.
Thanks, Neil. Appreciate it.